What women truly want is...
I would say, and this is, I think this is universal, and they disagree with me, but I really do, and I've said this a couple of times. The core thing for women, evolutionary-wise, is somebody they cannot manipulate. You could be David Beckham. I could be dating David Beckham, right? Who is David Beckham? But if I realize in very few conversations that he's a bit of an idiot, right? I can tell him I'm here and he believes me, or I can tell him I lost my wallet and he gives me money, or I can tell him I'm with my friends when really I've got another man here and he believes me. David Beckham becomes somebody I don't respect. David Beckham becomes somebody I'll leave on read and won't even reply to his messages. So what happens is the ability to manipulate a man is something that not all women are intending to do this. We're not intending to do this. A lot of women, majority of women are not intending to do this. But when they meet a man they can do that to, good women filter themselves away from him. If a good woman would see that, even David Beckham is I don't want anything to do with it, he's lost his appeal. It will make only bad women select you.
What should we be asking ourselves before we enter into a romantic relationship?
How am I using this person? And what am I using them for? Most of us go into relationships with something we're using them for. We can either be using them as a numbing cream to get over an ex-partner. We could be using them as a way to feel stable because of, we've got no finances ourselves. We could be using them as an ego boost because I've gotten a bit older as a man. I want a young 27-year-old so I can walk into a room and people can stare at me. How am I using this person? We're all using this person to some extent. Now, if the answer is healthy, it's because I'm using them because they make me feel safe. I can help make them feel safe, and we can provide something for each other that will create a good connection. I'm using them because they make me feel safe, and I hopefully make them feel safe. That's my usage. That's a good usage. Yeah, if we're using people because they make us feel emotionally safe, they make us feel heard, they make us feel seen, and they make us feel loved, if that's your form of using them, that's okay. That's a healthy form of using. But if I'm using them because there's an unmet need here, or there's an ex that hurt me in that way, or my father didn't do this and you need to now do that, my mother caused this trauma and now you need to do this. If we're using them from that perspective, it's not going to last. The glue is too weak.
I've heard you also say that in marriages we've replaced duty with hedonism.
Yeah, sadly. I mean, the thing is, like, family members, before, when we were more collectivist, we would have a duty of care to others. We've replaced that with a duty of care to ourselves. We've replaced everything to self-love, self-care, self. We've just replaced everything. Almost everything has self in front of it. I can't think of the last time we've got a concept or a trend that involves duty, and it's an obligation and responsibility. These things are now seen as boring, and they're seen as oppressive. So what culture has done is turn duty into a form of oppression, and hedonism and selfishness as a form of liberation. And it's indoctrinated all of us.
And it seems like for a lot of people, once the novelty of the romance wears off, the routine of everything just becomes too boring to tolerate.
When you can no longer feed my ego, I have no duty of care to you, is what we're getting. If you can no longer pay all my bills, I have no duty of care to you. Or if you can no longer make me feel or look good in front of my friends, and if you no longer can arouse me the way you used to, I have no duty of care to you anymore. So the lack of duty of care to the people that you've created children with, you've created homes. I'm not saying everybody's perfect. Sometimes some partners really do push you. But I'm just saying in general, the lack of duty of care is something that I think it actually starts from the home. I grew up in London, and one thing I just found so bizarre is children would move out from the age of 18, and 17, 18, they'd be looking to move out, or their parents would charge them rent. And 18 is so young to me. You don't really earn enough to do that. But there was no duty of care after that age. And then what that does, it comes full circle. What would happen is the children would no longer care about the parents as the parents would age. So the duty of care would stop so young. I can only compare it to my own culture. I'm not saying my culture is perfect by any means, but the duty of care never stops, and it then reverses from the children then caring to the adults until they pass. But the duty of care just doesn't stop, and I think that's what collectivist cultures have kind of tried to maintain, but it's dissolving due to Western kind of ideology and individualism.
Yes, like sacrifice is such an important part of everything we engage in.
Yeah.
To become successful in your career, you need to sacrifice a lot of time and get an education, or spend a lot of time and effort into that, or to develop a healthy body, you need to put a lot of work in at the gym. But romantic relationships, we don't seem to understand that, and sacrifice is not really even in the discussion.
People will go into a marriage without bearing in mind what the sacrifices it involves at all. And the main sacrifice it involves for men and women is alternatives. And unfortunately, we live in a time where both men and women are saturated with alternatives. I would say women more so than men, because of the advent of social media and dating apps means that they can just jump online and on that day they get alternatives. But the inability to sacrifice alternatives, and that includes not just human beings, and it also includes doing any behaviors that would compromise a relationship. But the inability to make sacrifices is really the core reason why relationships are falling apart.
A common question asked by men is, what do women want? But I think that answer never leads to the man getting the woman that he wants.
Yeah.
I think the more important question is, what kind of man are women attracted to?
Yeah, okay. That's a great question. That's a way better question rather than what do women want.
Because if you ask a woman what she wants, I want a man who's nice to me, and he's nice to my parents, kids, whatever. He's got a good sense of humor. But what women truly want is...
I would say, and this is, I think this is universal, and they disagree with me, but I really do, and I've said this a couple of times. The core thing for women, evolutionary-wise, is somebody they cannot manipulate. You could be David Beckham. I could be dating David Beckham, right? Who is David Beckham? But if I realize in very few conversations that he's a bit of an idiot, I can tell him I'm here and he believes me, or I can tell him I lost my wallet and he gives me money, or I can tell him I'm with my friends when really I've got another man here and he believes me, David Beckham becomes somebody I don't respect. David Beckham becomes somebody I'll leave on read and won't even reply to his messages. So what happens is the ability to manipulate a man is something that not all women are intending to do this. We're not intending to do this. A lot of women, majority of women are not intending to do this. But when they meet a man they can do that to, good women filter themselves away from him. If a good woman would see that, even David Beckham is I don't want anything to do with it, he's lost his appeal. It will make only bad women select you. Women that are planning to come home late, women who are planning to talk to their ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, women who are planning to still, online or whatever it is. So when you are a man a woman can manipulate, automatically she cannot be attracted to you. She can't be attracted to you. It's attraction, and here's why it's attraction so deeply. Attraction is because fundamentally we're still looking for someone to protect us. Yeah? That's how women are designed. Now, if you can't spot how I might be a threat to you, and the threats that I'm creating in your life by maybe I'm talking to another man, or I'm still body, or I'm still doing this, if you can't spot those threats, how can I trust that you would be able to spot the threats when me and you go out and go into new environments? Or how can I trust that when another woman tries to manipulate you, you're going to stand your ground and see through it? I won't be able to relax because you can't protect me. How can I, if I can manipulate you, anyone can. So the thing is, when people always think, oh, woman cheated, but to get there, but to even get to the cheating part, it would have been slow and steady manipulation. Slow and steady, lies that you believe, excuses that you accept, timings that you don't add up. You're not connecting the dots. So by the time she gets to cheating, it's not the cheating that led her to leave you. It was the ability to lie to you and you believing it throughout the years that led to the cheating. And then she met somebody she can't lie to or doesn't fall for her nonsense, and she automatically is seen as a man. So the cheating and all these things are not the issue. It's how much did you get. Now, by all means, I'm not saying you need to be a toxic man and say, where are you going, what are you doing, this, that, and the other. No, that's not what you need to do. That's the opposite of what we want. We don't want that. We don't want insecure. But how you become a man that you cannot manipulate is, firstly, you're a man that doesn't idolize. She can't treat you how she wants, and then just simply because she's with you that night, you forget all about it. That's the first thing. You don't idolize. But the second thing is you're looking for alignment between her words and her behaviors. If you are a man and you can align and you can see that a woman's behaviors and her words are totally aligned, she knows she can't manipulate you. But if you're a man that just believes what she tells you and ignores all of her behaviors, ignores all of her past, ignores all of her traumas, just because you hear what you want to hear, unfortunately she puts you into the category of the men she can manipulate, and therefore you'll only attract women who are planning to manipulate.